Where do you see? I will say I like the look of Latrell. I thought he looked fit. Had an error here and there, but he first hit out for the year.
Yeah.
I can see him having a really big season.
Yeah. After half time, when he went bang off the right foot, scored, then threw one over the top, set up the other one. We were sitting back going, right, well, now Tommy's got to answer.
Yeah.
Tommy did answer. I like that he was also on the right, on the short side, on the right side.
Yeah.
As well. Rather than, I know he likes the left, but that's what Souths have to do. They've got to mix it up a bit.
Okay, if you don't see Manly in your top 4, do you see Souths in your top 4?
I don't have Souths in my top 8.
You don't, Fletch?
No. This is, we got asked last week by the great Trevor Frugia.
Yeah.
A shout out to Trev.
Yeah, Trev.
I took your advice on craps too. Yeah, it's all.
You certainly did.
Snake eyes.
Very, very good. Did you change US dollars to Australian dollars?
No, you haven't yet. I didn't have him in my 8, Matthew. Not to say that because 3 obviously by history shows that 3 come out and 3 go in, but I don't have him in my 8.
Yeah, I've got him in my 8. I've got him on the cusp of the 4. I haven't got him in 4. Okay.
Do you think what you saw on the weekend gives you hope for a top 4? Do you think they've got the makings of a top 4 side?
I do. I do. I do believe that, Fletch. It's just, I don't know if they've just got to get the right... I mean, the ingredients are there.
Yeah.
They've just got to get the chemistry. They've got to get the focus right. They've got to get the errors out of their game. They've got to, once again, start pouring a little bit more energy into their defence rather than just pouring it all into their attack. If they get those things right, they'll be a top 4
I thought their kicking game wasn't as great as the other 3 sides.
Like you said before, Campbell Grain's a big loss for a couple of reasons. One is, he's so good defensively. And the other one is, on that right side, what he gives Lockie Ilias.
Yeah.
Like he was Lockie Ilias's go-to man going at those little short sides. And he gave him strike on that right edge. And what we see when he's not there, once again, they start getting a little bit left side centric.
Do you think you could play Cody at 7 and Jack Whiten at 6?
Oh, well,
I know you could, but do you think that would be something that Jason Demetriou would look at if they're struggling a little bit in attack?
I mean, they could.
Do you think Cody could play 7?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Not a doubt in the world. And to give them, they might not play as expansive. They'd lose a little bit as far as pass creativity, but they'd be certainly a lot more run-centric. Fletch, what about the Broncos?
Yeah, Broncos, well, we touched on it earlier. Reece Walsh didn't get that. I think that the narrow field affected the Broncos more than anyone.
Yep.
Piakura going off in 4 minutes, after 4 minutes, didn't help them because they had absolutely no... sort of on the edges, they had no punch there. Carrigan had to go back out onto an edge. That's not he's been playing the middle the last couple of years.
Yeah.
So there's a few things that went through against them, but it was round 1.
They couldn't quite generate space. They couldn't really, and you've explained it there with Carrigan having to go on their edge. They couldn't quite get their yardage game.
No. Well, the Roosters did a terrific job. And they did a terrific job on Adam Reynolds' kicking game, I thought. They really pressurised him.
A lot of Reece Walsh, every time we got into space, he looked really dangerous. Ezra Mam looked dangerous.
Yeah.
You know they're going to be up there.
Absolutely,
again. A lot of expectations up there on the Broncos. I said that to Pat Carrigan. I said, like last year, I think as far as expectations, they overachieved. This year, I think up in Queensland, they're saying, well, we expect them to win the competition. Yeah. They can be tricky.
Yeah, well, they've lost Flegler too. They lost Herbie.
They're both big losses.
Herbie is a big loss, but I think I think they've done the right thing putting Selwyn in the centres. There was a couple of these little touches when he set up the try down the left edge.
And what about when he, like his power when he runs the football?
Yeah, because they got a lot of punch off Herbie last year coming out of trouble. Yeah. So Selwyn will grow into that role.
I think Kevy would just be trying to encourage Selwyn to just do a little bit more.
Yeah.
But they're no risk of...
They're in my top 4.
Yeah, they're in mine as well. Roosters, this is interesting. Everything I've seen of the Roosters so far going into that game, I liked.
Yep.
I thought their trial form was really good. When their main stars, just watching their young guys play in that trial against Manly, they look fantastic, and I thought that's a good indication of what the whole club's been doing in the off-season. But even when we were in Vegas, Fletch, all the Roosters players looked really focused. You could just you could see that has been really good preparation, and there was a certain confidence within the club.
Well, they started poorly the last couple of years.
Yeah.
Last year was, we saw that after round 20, they were sitting 14th. They went on a bit of a run towards the back end. So it looks to me as that was a little bit of a focus to start well. And their defence too. They're quite a mobile side. And they're all young. Everyone in the back row, like they've got Siwa Wong, who's going to be...
Oh, he's a gun.
Satili Tupanua. So they're all young kids.
It was a good move. Tupanua played in the centres.
Yeah.
Put him in the centres. It was a clever move from Trent Robbins, given the fact that it was a narrow field.
He can do all that sort of stuff, Tupanua.
Sammy Walker, I thought he looked really good. Sammy Walker and Luke Keary, they've benefited from their being just loosening of that structure.
Sammy Walker was sitting on next to us. He was sitting next to me and he's thickened out a bit. This is what... they've got a new strength and conditioning coach too, the Chook. So,
have they?
Maybe... Yeah, he looks a little bit more...
A bit more robust through
because he's going to get targeted.
Yeah.
He's going to have back rowers running at him and Luke Keary all year. So I suppose it was a good sign for him.
I was happy for him. And I'm really happy for Brandon Smith.
Yes.
So he and Victor, the Bash and Crash brothers.
Yep.
I thought they were like Victor. That was a superb performance from Victor. One of his best. But Brandon, just really good to see Brandon get off to a good start after an unsettled last year.
Yeah, and he looks a lot fitter too.
Yeah.
The knock on him last year, and a knock on them all last year, I thought they might have trained a little bit too hard during the off-season. You start a little bit flat, and maybe they've gone the other way this year.
Remember, like, a bit of insight into the listeners and the viewers. Remember the off-season, how hard they used to be?
Yeah.
Like, these days, clubs, they train hard, but they generally train smart.
Smarter, yeah.
Even through, like, it'd just be 400s, 800s, 10K runs, even through the season.
Sandhills. If you had a cranky coach and you didn't aim up, you would be going to the sandhills. Shout out to you, Ricky Stewart. Like halfway through the year.
That's right.
Ruin your legs.
You turn up, like sometimes you play on a Sunday, then you turn up to train on the Monday night and they got you running 400s.
Yep.
And you're thinking, mate, it's going to get them fit. Looking back in hindsight, it's just burning you out.
Correct. There's an old saying I used to make up.
Yeah, do it.
You can't flog a dead horse. Can't flog them. Do you know what that means?
You can, but it doesn't do anything.
That's the whole thing.
Yeah.
Do I have to explain my saying?
Yeah.
Or you picked up on it?
I've sort of picked up on it. Yeah. It's useless. It's fruitless.
It is.
Why do it?
Why flog a dead horse?
No, that's right.
Wouldn't hurt him.
Does nothing. James Tedesco. I tell you what, in a career at the Roosters where he's had a lot of blinders, it was one of his very best.
Very best. Well, he was under criticism last year. Everyone was into him saying, oh, that's it. He's on old legs.
Yeah.
He did have an off-season for the first time in a long time.
Was it a hard off-season or a smart off-season?
I think it was smart. Certainly no flogging of said dead horse for Ted. No, he caught everything, didn't he? How good does he look?
He was awesome.
He was back to his end, not overplaying his hand.
Yeah.
And he's the first to admit sometimes he can get into first receiver and just sort of stymie their attack. The
other one is Joseph Swali'i.
Oh gosh.
And we saw him around quite a bit. What a nice guy.
Yeah. Too nice for league. I can see why. He's gone to union.
Yeah.
Speaks very, very well.
Yeah.
Got all his teeth.
Yes, he was, mate. You can see, the rhapsody he's got. You can just see it now. What a powerhouse he is.
He's only 21, Matthew. He's going to have a bit of a headache, Trent Robinson, because Billy Smith was named in the centres. It was only I don't think it was only a precautionary that they've pulled him out with his hemi. So, do you put him back to the wing? Because I thought he was brilliant in defence.
Yeah, I thought he was too.
Joseph, so.
Yeah, very, very good. And Joey Manu.
What do you say?
That little pass around there.
Might have a little touch forward.
Might have been touch forward, but Fletch, we're in Vegas.
Correct.
You know,
smoke and mirrors.
Yes.
Yeah. Just look over there, bang. No, Joey, he was very good as well.
JWS still to come back into the side, so they've got plenty of depth as well. And as I said before, that trial game I saw where all the young guys played, they've got a lot of depth.
Angus Crichton, Egan Butcher couldn't make the squad.
Oh, yeah.
So they've got a few back rowers coming if anything goes down.
Never-ending supply of juniors, you guys.
Well, yeah, they are. They're juniors, obviously, and Spencer's a junior now.
Oh, yeah.
Clovelly.
Righto, Fletch. Those four sides we've spoken about. If I told you, okay, if you had to have $100 on one of those teams to win the competition, who would it be?
Well, I've already had $100 on the Roosters.
Have you?
So I guess I've got to say the Roosters.
Well, I'll give you another $100. Would you have it on the Roosters? Would you double down on it?
I would. What price are you going to give me? Because it's all about the price.
At this stage...
They kicked off at 12s.
Yeah.
They will come in.
Oh, they'll come in big time.
Yeah.
Well, I was actually going to say I was probably going to be a little bit short after watching what they did individually and collectively.
Yes.
I would have said 13-2.
Oh, really?
$6.50, but that's probably a little too short. Probably get them 8s. I like them as well.
They would be into single figures now.
Yeah, I like them as well.